Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
So, we're gonna have a special treat. So, we kind of have like a Founders Day today. Our founders overview, founders who just started from the beginning with us. And so Annie is one of those people. She not only just a star in general.
Yeah.
It's kind of intimidating being her presence sometimes. She's amazing, and everybody wants to be around her. But she is so down to earth, and her heart speaks louder than anything. And so she is super humble, one of the most humble people you ever run across in life. She's amazing and has supported us from the very beginning. She heard about us and was like, "Yep, I'm in." So without further ado, Miss Ann Myers Drysdale.
Yeah. Is this an interview or what?
No, you're just sharing your heart.
Just, a lot of new faces.
Yeah.
And it's awesome. With the, I was telling Stephen that he goes, "How did you get involved?" And so when I joined the Phoenix Suns and Mercury, I'm from California, started working for the Phoenix Suns and Mercury and did a lot of nonprofits in California. So was not really looking in Arizona, but they had Elevate Phoenix had a board meeting at the arena, and so I knew a lot of the guys in the front office that were going down to this meeting, and I thought that I would go down too because I had such respect for them. And so I sat in, and I loved the diversity. I loved where it was going. I really had not been involved with something like Elevate Phoenix, and but you can say it's like Big Brothers Big Sisters, but it's not. This is 24/7 the rest of your life. And so the impact and understanding how Elevate Phoenix as a curriculum got into the schools and made an impact on all these children's lives. And Tim and I struck up a great relationship, and we had a lot of meetings, and then we Jazz and Delila and everybody else, Amanda. It just was a great feel. Certainly Tom Lehman and his vision in seeing how to help others, and to be able to start at such a young level with so many children having such difficulties in their life and having such great role models like all of you, to be able to be there to support them in what troubles that they were going through in their life, and knowing that you were going to be there 24/7 and change their lives. It was an impact for me to see the difference that you guys could make. And so, I've been able to kind of spread my wings a little bit, because everybody is allowed me here at Elevate Phoenix to do that, and start a luncheon in my brother and sister's name who have passed away but were teachers, and just come up with different ideas to affect children. We did back, I don't know how long ago it was, maybe 10 years ago, 5 years ago, where we got Al McCoy, who's the voice of the Phoenix Suns, and he and I were able to collaborate with Elevate Phoenix and some of the elementary school kids with Title IX, and who some of the great women athletes through our time here in the United States, and what they accomplished. And they had to do an SAP on women athletes, both the boys and girls in the elementary school, and just to see their interest and their passion, and really understanding and learning about somebody else that they didn't know about. Was so proud of them and their parents, and we were able to treat them at Phoenix Country Club, and just things like that we see, that Dare to Dream and Rise, and there's so many outlets to help others, and so that's really my why in being involved with Elevate Phoenix.
Yeah, she's a mic dropper, you guys. Mic drop. Anybody got any questions for Annie?
Just Google.
So our Ann Myers Drysdale scholarship, the AMD scholarship, is the one that really supports our kids. So when your students are either one, not Pell eligible, because we have a lot of DACA undocumented kids, or on the other end of that, they're not Pell eligible because their parents make just enough money to pay the bills, right? But the system reads them as not Pell eligible. This is the scholarship fund that is always and non-competitive to our students. which is huge. Like they have access to it. Yesterday, in the middle of our chaotic day, I was sending scholarship applications to 2 kids. Gisela was one of them, and Santiago, who you guys know Santi, he's got this passion for behavioral science, and he's going to finish his degree in it. And so this is out of Annie's heart of, you know what, I want to see change, and I want to be a part of that. So I'm so grateful for Annie's heart.
Well, but you guys make it happen.
Yeah, we
You
do,
guys are
but
the
you
face.
help us. You really do help us. I just know what it feels like to not have the resources to help a kid and want to help a kid so bad. And so you do that for us.
Yes.
In my last job, I spoke at a graduation at Imagine Schools, and I had to follow Annie, y'all. Like, I was like, what you guys
And you're a
say?
star.
Oh my goodness. You know, I was so awestruck by Annie, and I just thought, like, I could never, just sit and have a conversation with this lady. She's just, amazing. First woman basketball in the NBA before the WNBA. Come on, somebody.
Annie's the first woman in just the NBA, too.
Yeah, in the NBA before the WNBA. So, but having sat with Annie, with Miss Ellis, so Deontay's mom, just sitting there and just having lunch at Cracker Barrel, just chilling,
What's our next one?
I know, right? We need to put that
I know, I'd like a little invite to that.
What?
Ladies lunch?
Ladies
No,
lunch.
ladies lunch.
We're on dress if I have to. Anthony's funny. He said, "I'll wear a dress."
Well, 152 scholarships now
Wow.
that have been facilitated. Talk about a legacy for your sister
Yeah.
and your brother. 152
That's special.
kids already. Yeah. Wow.
And count.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, can I get up?
Oh.
He hates us, you guys. Last little piece. Oh, go ahead.
Low.
I've heard you talk about it before, but how was Coach Wooden?
Again, Google him. A lot of people don't know who he is.
Yeah.
I know.
So John Wooden
Crazy.
was a coach. Does anybody know where UCLA is?
Westwood.
It's funny because when I ask children, they talk about wanting to go to college and so forth, and you throw, do you know where University of Wisconsin is? Do you know where Michigan State is? Do you know UCLA? No. Kids don't know. They don't know colleges. And so UCLA is University of California at Los Angeles. It's where I went to school. And my brother David, who became a teacher and has passed away, he played basketball for Coach John Wood. And he was a coach that won 10 championships in 12 years. And my brother was part of 2 of those and was on his last championship too. But my freshman year at UCLA, I was the first woman to get a full athletic scholarship at UCLA because of Title IX. And my brother was a senior when I was a freshman. And the coach my freshman year was a guy named Kenny Washington, who played for Coach Wood. So all the drills we did were all the drills that the men had done. And so our fundamentals, which is fundamentals of life, just that great base and balance helped me to be where I am today. And Papa, Coach Wood, I call him Papa, was very important in my life. And he retired after my brother's senior year in 1975, but still was so involved. And I lost my husband in '93, so Leland, we're all dealing with so much. But he was very supportive. I have 3 children, and he was always there. Great quotes, and had a great sense of humor, but was an unbelievable teacher. And he was an English major, so he could quote poems and quote other people off the top of his head. He passed away at the age of 96, I think it was, 97, 96 or 97. We just lost a dear friend of mine, Vin Scully, who he's got a great habit, and he doesn't know who he is, but it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, I heard a story on him this morning, and it's crazy. They're saying he called the first or the only perfect game in World Series history in 1957.
With Sandy Koufax, who played with my husband, Don Drysdale.
Wow.
So it's Koufax and Drysdale pitchers for the Los Angeles Dodgers. And, but he also called the Hank Aaron over on that broke the record of Babe Ruth. But he was just such a kind and gentle, and another guy that could quote, and poetry and his other people and so forth. And, but he lived a good life. He was 94, passed away last night, and I talked to his daughters last night. And then Bill Russell, who was a basketball player in the NBA, was another dear friend. So he and his wife had just bought a house in Scottsdale, and so we're losing great icons of not just their sport, but what they've done for our society.
Yeah.
So blessed in so many ways.
Yeah. And you blessed Elevate with the opportunity not to meet Vince, but we've met some other folks that you know that wouldn't have even looked at what we do. But Bill Russell came that time, and it was really awe-inspiring. And again, kids didn't know who he was, but when they found out, and that's so important when we pass our, like I say, because I'm 74, but our history really matters to shaping these generations.
Well, we have another guy that he's, he loves to talk. But another, Jazz's best friend, Bobby Herbeck. So has anybody ever seen the movie Ninja Turtles?
Oh, yeah.
So he wrote the movie.
Yeah.
So Bobby's involved with Elevate Phoenix, and he can be very enthusiastic.
So I have a question. So, it's been said that you literally come into a room and in a room full of people, make somebody feel like they're the only one there. You are so genuine. You take the time to write handwritten letters. You send out Christmas cards. You being a part of so many teams and having the heart that you do and the attention to detail you do, given that this is a new team coming into this new school year, what advice would you give to a team just kind of coming together? We got new faces, we got old faces. What advice would you give to this group?
Well, you're here for a reason, because of who you are, and just be yourselves, and that's why you're here. But it's the fundamentals of balance in life is love and family. So to have that balance, and that these children that you're involved with don't have balance in their life, and so you give them that support and to be able to know that they can come to you. And there's difficult times where you won't know what to do, and you're going to make mistakes. We all make mistakes, and that's what's so great about sports. We fail all the time, and so even as mentors, we want to be the best we can. And that's all you can ask for. And sometimes your best is not their best, and but in failing only gives you an opportunity to be better and to learn from that. So I'm excited with the new faces that you have this opportunity to learn from others that have experienced things that you may not have experienced, and but now you have that opportunity, and you're going to go through things that you think, how am I going to get through this, or whatever? How can I get this child through this? But you will. You'll find God's grace.
When I think about coaches I've had, I think about men and women who've had a real impact on my life, and in a way, they are teachers.
Well, they are teachers.
Yeah. Just outside of the classroom, but what I'm wondering is what are some things that you think coaches do well at teaching that we as teachers should be doing in the classroom?
Well, things have changed so much. Social media is huge with kids today, and I think to overcome that is always a challenge. And Coach wouldn't have 3 rules. He only had 3 rules. And but one was be on time, because everybody's time is precious. And if you say you're going to be somewhere, get there early, because you want to be there for the other people that you're there for. The other ones, don't be critical of others. Don't be critical of your teammates. Don't be critical, because, as I said, we all make mistakes. None of us are perfect. And so to be critical of others and downplay somebody, that doesn't help their confidence. So don't be critical of others. And the other one, which is interesting today, is don't swear.
I know that's right.
So, which I find fascinating in sports, the cursing that goes on in sports, which in the classroom, in a history class, a math class, whatever, your teachers don't swear. So why should your teacher on the sports field have curse? But his reasoning was because you lose control. If you're not making good decisions when you have elevated your emotions to this level, and then you have to curse at somebody. So, and also, that's intelligence. Find a different way. You can speak to somebody differently and get the same effect across. And we hear the F word so much today, and even in business. I mean, and it's fascinating. So my husband was older than I was, but I was always in awe, honestly, that when he got together with his ball player friends that he played ball with, that when it was mixed company, the language never veered out of the locker room. But I'm sure when it was their guys and they were in the clubhouse or whatever, language was probably a little bit saltier. And but in saying that, when it was mixed company, they never spoke that way. And I thought, why can't you control yourself to be able to speak in an intelligent way and get the same, message across? And so, and I talk about the fundamentals and the base that Papa, that Coach Wooden gave, not only me, but so many other people. And playing sports is just such a small part of our lives. And whether you play 2 years or you play 20 years, then what do? Because now you're in your 30s and 40s, which is still very young, but you're not playing the sport that you love, and now you have to live life. And I look at my brother who played 5 years in the NBA. How old was he? He was 29. 29 when he had to retire. And it's like, so what do? I mean, your whole life is ahead of you. So, and he became a teacher.
So I have a couple of questions. The first one was Tim had mentioned about legacy, and then you had started talking about life, and change and all of that with Elevate. So when you think of those words, legacy, life, and change, what do those words mean to you?
Well, legacy, Elevate Phoenix, where it started with Tom Lehman. I mean, he's the legacy of this, and Tim and Jazz and everybody else. You guys, all of you, are leaving the legacy to these children to continue to understand what life is going to be like. And so Tom had the vision to be able to help others, and certainly people that are on the board also, their support and their vision of what Elevate Phoenix from the very first year, from where we are at the big dinners and the golf tournament and so forth. So there's such a huge support with that. Life changes every day. How you wake up, and another phrase that Coach Wooden would say is, make each day your masterpiece. Because we don't know how long we're here, and just wake up every morning and you have a choice. Are you going to be upset, depressed? Does that show to the children that you're going to be, teaching that day? Or you can be positive. No matter how difficult things are in your life, you have to portray something different to them. And that's not always easy, but things are always changing, and you have to be able to kind of change with it too, and educate yourself. I'm not great on social media, but I know social media is such an impact on these young children's lives, and Instagram and Twitter and I don't know all the other stuff. TikTok. Which is tacky. And it just, they're finding that suicide is up on children because of social media. And it's such an influencer where, how you look and what you eat and how you dress and doing fillers and eyelashes and just, it's such a change that we're seeing, that young girls and young boys are struggling with who they are, and they're not measuring up to people they don't even know, that aren't in their lives. And when things first started happening, Facebook, I guess, was the first one. Was it? MySpace. And I remember speaking at a basketball camp and talking to these children, and they were like junior high and high school age, I said, how many friends do you have? And they said, oh, I got 300 friends. We got, how many hits and this and that. And I'm thinking, so if you're in the middle of the night and you're driving home and your car breaks down, and can you call these 300 friends?
Yeah.
Are these friends? Do you know who they are? No. And so I choose not to go on social media. I have a Twitter account, but it's like, I have no idea how to do it. But I think to myself, why would I put myself in such a negative frame of mind with people being so critical of my work? And I've gone on it. My children have gone on it. My daughter gets upset and they say, oh, Mom, they're saying this about your broadcast and so forth. And I'm like, well, I don't even know who they are.
Right.
I mean, I can take it as a constructive criticism, but those words hurt. But we're finding too, though, that so many people are committing suicide because all these people around the world that they have no clue who they are impacting them. And so social media, I think, is a challenge for all of us. And so to change to be more aware of how that affects their lives, I think is important. But, like every day is different and how you roll with it.
And next question, what is one thing that we don't know about you that you would like to share? And it could be anything. Your
Nothing.
favorite food.
I don't want to share that.
Oh, that was a brutal question.
Well, it could be
No,
your favorite
as a kid,
food.
I loved hot dogs. Hot dogs, my favorite meal. Hot dogs and French fries and applesauce. So I have 5 brothers and 5 sisters.
Okay.
And my mom is still alive. She's 96, but she's in a home, dementia home, and broke her hip 2 years ago and has been in a bed 24/7. So we get to go visit her, but that's been tough. But life throws you curveballs. How do you deal with them? But I've lost 4 siblings, 2 brothers and 2 sisters, and we cherish every day and all our nieces and nephews. And as I said, I have 3 children, 2 sons and a daughter. And we all have family, whether our parents or our children or siblings or dear friends. And so you just do the best you can.
Thank you.
And success is peace of mind and knowing that you did your best, become the best that you're capable of becoming. Not somebody else's success.
Can you repeat that? Because that was my next question. Quote.
That's Papa's. That's Coach Wood. You can find it. What success is.
Well, what's your favorite quote?
Yeah. Well,
That
failing to prepare is preparing to fail.
one? Thank you.
Well,
Go ahead.
Natasha, just one. Like with all the losses and challenges that you've experienced, what's a foundational scripture that you choose to stand on?
I wish I knew the Bible better.
Okay. Or what holds you?
But my faith.
Your faith. Okay.
And I see that in my mom. My mom lost siblings, and after 30 years and 11 children, my dad left my mom. And 5 kids were still at home. And I think, how did she get through it?
Yeah.
And so when I lost my husband back in '93, my children were 5, 3, and 3 months. But faith, family, and friends. And family has been always so supportive for me. But seeing my mom's faith is big.
I have a question for you. I'm sure you're a busy woman, and you talk about balance. Coach Wooden talks a lot about that. So how have you found in your life to know what to say yes to, what to say no to, and to find that balance? Because I'm sure a lot of people are vying for your attention and resources or whatnot. So how do you determine that for yourself?
That's a great question. Again, I look to other people before me, but every stage in our life is different, and how you make choices. And you look back, would I have made that choice, when I was 25 compared to when I was 35, 55. And, we're all at a different place in our lives when those things happen. So when my husband passed away, and even before he passed away, I was getting into the broadcast business. So you take everything and then do you make a choice with your children and your family or trying to make a career? And so you want to stay relevant. How do you stay relevant? Well, with a lot of kids today, it's with social media. But, so there was a time where I was doing a lot of things. But I made choices too in my life because when my husband passed and my children were young, even though I had the support of my family, I felt that I needed to be there. I had some wonderful job opportunities that I turned down because I chose my family over that. There have been times where they've gotten older and I thought that they could handle things and they were with family, and so I would take some different things. When I was younger, I went to a lot of big sporting events and dinners and just to be seen because you have to keep your name out there too. Now that I'm older, I could care less.
That's right.
Don't go to as many. COVID's changed so much for everybody. And so that year and a half that nobody could go anywhere. So now we don't like to get dressed up as much and just tennis shoes. But COVID really changed lives for everybody, and so you have to step back and what's important. And so I try and. There was a time when with the Phoenix Suns and Mercury, I came here as the general manager for the Mercury and a vice president with the Suns. And now I'm a vice president with both, and broadcast for both teams. But at one point during my position with the Mercury and the Suns, my daughter back in California was really struggling with a lot of different things. And so I chose which the balance wasn't there, that my job suffered. My job suffered because my first priority was my child.
That's right.
And so we still have some interesting times, but that changed my position and my job because I chose to work outside, and my work was with my children, and so which was a difficult transition, and but I've accepted it, and I could have quit. Could have moved on, but I love being in Phoenix. I love my oldest son and his wife live here, and my two other children live in Southern California, so I've got the best of both worlds and go back and forth. But, we have to make tough decisions. And one of the things, when I had my tryout with the Indiana Pacers in the NBA, people said, well, you're not good enough, you're a girl, you can't do it, you're just, the name of my book, you let some girl beat you. And, but you're too slow, you're going to get hurt, people are bigger than you and so forth. But my whole life I'd been playing against men in the game of basketball. But even though I didn't make it as a player, it opened up the doors for so many other things. And so I try and tell people, don't look back in life. Don't say, I woulda, coulda, shoulda. Go ahead and try. And if it doesn't work out, again, if you fail, but they say success is not final, failure is not fatal, it's courage that counts. So, to get up and have the courage to start over again, and no matter how much is thrown at you, and things can be bad for a while, but then, to me, there's always a door that's going to open.
I think we should
Anthony,
get Annie's book out to anyone that doesn't have it.
Okay, Anthony's got one more.
Because I want to ask it in terms of, because you've made iconic changes within history. You have made even small changes, big things throughout your life. But also through all that, like you said, I want to remain relevant. I was doing things. How did you maintain your character, yourself, your essence, through all of those struggles, fights, battles, and like I said, historical successes? Because our kids, they're gonna be in those places. You got athletes they're the big guy on the team, but then now their character and they're being watched. How did you maintain that?
I think it was the way I was raised. My parents, they showed us a great work ethic, and my brothers and sisters. I mean, they keep you on an even keel. So people say, "Oh, you won this, you won that, you did this," and I was like, Yeah, but when you're a family of 11 children, so did 4 other people. 5 other people. So, you know, you come home and everybody's got a trophy, so it's like, okay. So, but, you know, and Don always used to say, he said, you're only as good as yesterday's paper. So, I mean, you know, maybe it's great that you get publicity and people recognize you, but there's going to be days that, you know, you're forgotten. But you're forgotten in the sports world or you know, the world of media. And but it's everyday life. And my brother and sister showed me that. And my parents showed me that. And Don showed me that. And that's just who I am.
Yeah. I think, because some of you don't know about Annie's book, and we'll get Annie's book to you if we could. You Let a Girl Beat You. And speaking of relevance in yesterday's paper, I was amazed at the Los Angeles Times article on you and your brother and the 50-year span between a brother and sister playing for UCLA basketball. And I learned some things about you and about your brother and the championship.
You say I like hot dogs?
And that will be a blog on our website.
I'm sure, you know, hot dogs are your power foods. That's a good thing, you know? I like that. But if you go to Los Angeles Times, you can pick that up.
It'll be on our website,
It'll be
on our
the
blog.
website. Okay.
It'll be our blog.
And we want to get Annie's book to anybody that wants it. Great insights into a lot of what you talked about. And I admire your, well, not only your faith, but I admire your humanity.
Yes.
Because that helps all of us be human when you share openly.
Well, we just want to thank you, Annie, and, you know, again, with all of me, I truly admire you. I am so honored. We are honored, let alone just having you as a board member, as a mentor coach, but most of all as a friend.
Yeah.
Now, have you done this with Tom?
He's been on the hot seat a lot.
Yes. But no, we have so many
recently.
new people, and you're not known to the whole group, so
You're only as good as yesterday's paper.
we're all